As China accelerates its nuclear weapons buildup, concerns are raised around the globe. Angus Lapsley, the Assistant Secretary General for Defense Policy and Planning at the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, called for greater transparency from Beijing. He made the statement at the Shangri-La Regional Security Conference in Singapore, emphasizing China's global responsibility. China's rapid expansion of nuclear power and weaponry demands scrutiny and dialogue. This article delves into the details of this matter, discussing the need for transparency, the shifting dynamics of global nuclear power, the response from various stakeholders, and the future of nuclear disarmament. Transparency in matters of national security is critical to maintaining global stability. As a growing superpower, China's accelerated nuclear buildup raises several questions about its intentions, threatening international peace. Lapsley pointed out that the scale and pace of China's development were really striking. As a responsible global power, China is called upon to offer greater clarity about its nuclear program, facilitating better communication and understanding between nations. Transparency in nuclear matters will reassure other nations and promote a cooperative international environment rather than a competitive one, shifting dynamics of global nuclear power. Lapsley further noted that NATO did not want to interfere in the region but wanted to engage. While China has the right to modernize and expand its arsenals, the shifting dynamics of global nuclear power necessitate open dialogue and collaboration. The world has moved far beyond the Cold War era where a few countries predominantly held nuclear power. Today, several nations are part of the nuclear club, and this changing landscape calls for a re-evaluation of how nuclear power is managed and governed globally. NATO's stance indicates its readiness for dialogue. However, it cannot substitute dialogue between the US and China. Pentagon reports have shown that China's arsenal is growing in both size and sophistication, causing US officials to call for increased dialogue with Beijing. The US and China have been key players in the nuclear domain, and an open dialogue between them can pave the way for greater transparency, possibly leading to agreements on arms control or disarmament. The Pentagon's annual China report reveals a significant acceleration in Beijing's nuclear program. According to the report, Beijing now has more than 400 operational nuclear warheads, a number still far below US and Russian stockpiles, but the growth rate is alarming. By 2035, the Pentagon predicts China will likely possess a 1,500 nuclear warhead stockpile and an advanced array of missiles, given its ongoing military modernization efforts. This surge in nuclear power capacity raises serious concerns about global security, emphasizing the need for greater transparency from Beijing. The issue of China's nuclear expansion elicited reactions from a variety of stakeholders. Officers from the People's Liberation Army questioned recent moves by the US and its allies to provide nuclear-powered submarines to Australia and enhance South Korea's protection, while others dismissed the predictions of China's long-term buildup as mere imagination. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, in his keynote speech, reaffirmed the ultimate goal of nuclear disarmament as a crucial objective. His statement echoed the sentiments of many who hope to see a world free from the threat of nuclear weapons. Towards nuclear disarmament. Nuclear disarmament remains a lofty goal in international politics. As more countries amass nuclear power, the path to disarmament becomes increasingly complex. While the development of nuclear arsenals can be justified as a deterrent under the no first use policy, the world must remember the horrific effects of nuclear warfare, as witnessed in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. To safeguard future generations from such a catastrophe, the focus should be on disarmament, and global powers should work together to achieve this goal. Conclusion. NATO's call for greater transparency from China on its nuclear buildup underscores the growing concern about the rapid pace of China's military modernization. The expansion and modernization of nuclear arsenals should not lead to an arms race but should prompt increased dialogue and cooperation. The importance of open dialogue between nations cannot be overstated, particularly in matters of global security. As China continues to grow as a global superpower, it has a greater responsibility to promote transparency. Ultimately, the shared goal should be to create a world where nuclear power is not a threat but a resource that can be harnessed for peaceful purposes, moving us closer to the ultimate goal of nuclear disarmament. Until next time, take care.